would like to do a lot of the legwork today if they could manage it, but there's still a lot to do as you're down 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, I think HLE would like to play a little bit more League of Legends than the short games that they've had already available to them. Let's see if BLG let them, because it does feel like it is up to BLG whether HLE are going to be able to enter this series or not.
And it's, once again, a blue side pick here for HLE, even in the very final game, potentially, of this series. They need to make it work. It's Coach Ohm, let's see whether he's actually got a plan here. Of course, spent an incredibly long time in the LPL. Kanavi, they're in the LPL as well. I mean, there is a lot of experience understanding how this league works on this HLE roster, and a lot of experience with a lot of the players that are on BLG as well. They just have not been able to keep up the pace. I think there's some sort of whiplash here between these two squads where HLE are like, oh, wait, this is what it's like in the LPL, actually, where a lot of these players do have a lot of that experience.
Yeah, I mean, Kanavi spent 6 years in the LPL, and he has a very, good winning record versus Shun individually from his time there, but not on his time here in Daejeon.
Yeah, and then Shun had to try and fill Kanavi's shoes when Kanavi left JDG, then ended up coming over towards BLG after all the shenanigans they had last year with their jungler. But Shun selling in nicely, being able to support the solo lanes. But that has not been the story of today. It has been more about BLG and specifically on working with Shun on the invades, shutting down Kanavi and making sure Kanavi cannot play his game.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that I've loved so much about how BLG have looked this series is how in sync they are.
Yeah.
The layering of CC, everybody being there on really good timers for the skirmishes, everyone on the same plan as far as defending the plays, cross-map plays, not letting your opponent get anything while you have the lead. When they have the lead, they know they have the lead and they will not let you get a trade. So, back to the draft, though, and our love of flex picks, Atlus.
Yep.
The Skarner flex pick is alive and well, too. That's one
it's really alive and well. This is another flex pick. This could be the bottom lane.
It very well could.
Okay, well, the Lucian is going to be locked in. This is when Gumayusi's like, no, guys, I want to win the game. I don't know whether he's going to be allowed to. Delight is now on the Milio duty as well. Not necessarily his wheelhouse, although he has had some good games on the champion.
And I have liked the games where we've seen Lucian Milio to try and punish the Mel lanes, regardless of what Mel does get put with. So if you're going to do that, though, you have to play to that lane, play to the bottom lane so that Lucian can do those trades onto Mel, can continually dash in and keep that passive uptime. And I want to see if they can actually get jungle under control the jungle towards bottom side, and play to the Lucian Milio.
I don't think it's going to be used into the Lucian Milio, but just put it out there, On does play Skarner. So it could also be the flex of the Skarner down into that bottom side as well. So options here still for BLG. And I do think you kind of want something, though, that can still get out onto the map, because that's mostly where BLG have been able to find the success here. And Skarner are definitely one of those champions who can come in from multiple different angles and make things very uncomfortable for the likes of a Viktor in that mid lane.
Yeah, and I'm kind of assuming that maybe the Renekton could be played by Viper as well. At this point, everything is on the table. The Caitlyn is going to be taken away, though. They do not believe that this Mel is definitely going into the bottom lane. Yeah. Knight could obviously be playing that. But we do expect that the Mel is likely to be used there towards that bottom side. But a pivot away from the matchup could be a good idea, so eliminating some of those better options.
Yeah, I mean, with the prevalence of flexing everything around, you don't want to get hit all of a sudden with a Caitlyn, Elise combination or something from Viper on. And that would just be brutal. Let's take a look, though, what else they're worried about to cover on their side. I mean, the Mel is pretty good for mid lane too, into Viktor, so that's why they're really covering bottom lane. They don't want to deal with a hyperscale combination either. The Zeri Lulu has been on display already by Pays quite heavily at this tournament, and so take out the Lulu half of it where she pairs with just so many other better AD carries too.
Also, we've seen Cog Lulu sometimes as an answer into the Lucian Milio. BLG had a great performance on that actually domestically in the playoffs as well. So looks like On going to get his hands on Rakan. So literally called the handsome support because of how good he looks on this pick. So definitely a massive pick for On. I mean, I'll have to see if he's going to be able to find that same kind of roam timers that we talked about for him.
can be a difficult thing to make work into something like a Viktor with so much AoE damage going around. We'll have to see how this one is going to be evened out, as the Aatrox is an interesting one. I had that Kanavi game in my head, seeing whether they could find a way to springboard themselves back into this series with a good performance. The Skarner, though, is going to be the lock-in here for Kanavi.
I mean, we saw T1 do exactly this.
Did I say Skarner? It's the Trundle.
Because, I mean, Shun is a Kindred player, and we already just said, hey, we've already got that Skarner potential flex. This is what happened with T1 where they got cut out before.
So where are they flexing it, though? Yeah, that's the question. So the Xayah is coming in. I was thinking maybe Viper was going to play Skarner this time. So I was right there with you. I was right there with you. But no, not going to be the case. We are going to have the Lovers Duo there towards the bottom side of the map.
And then with the Mundo lock-in, I mean, Xayah solo killed Pun with this matchup. With the Mundo into the Renekton with the surprise reset on him. And Pun was pretty good this tournament, so we'll see. Bindo, different monster. And I have to say, I think that Bin, with pushing, priority on that lane, with Mel going to have priority early on in that lane as well, I think this is another pretty good setup for BLG.
I think if Hanwha can slow the game down, though, there is so much scaling on their side. Like, with the Mundo, with the Viktor in the mid lane, that Trundle going to be able to steal away a ton of stats from the Skarner. So I think for Hanwha, it is once more going to be a case of, can you shut down the early game?
Yeah, we'll see whether they can actually make that happen. I think if HLE can find a way to keep up with BLG, that might allow them to stay alive in this series. And honestly, with the amount of picks that have been fearlessly taken away that are so high on the tier list, I am very interested in what these drafts are going to look like moving further forward. That being said, getting way ahead of myself, because HLE need to wake up and actually start dictating the pace in some of these games as we get onto the Rift for potentially the final time this series.
The crowd doing their best to wake them up, Atlus.
Yeah, and they've been yelling even throughout the entire break. We saw Heji there as well, trying to rile them up. Xayah is coming through as well. HLE, let's see whether they've finally had enough time to get into gear here. And the Trundle for Kanavi is something that he's found a lot of success on in the LCK as well, so something that he might be able to find some advantages on, especially with Shun, on something that is a little bit more on the back foot, at least very early on.
Yeah, and we have exhaust on the Xayah here for Viper too. Try and deal with this move. Milio,
that immediate exhaust here in this bottom lane. I don't know whether it was the right move, but it's more valuable to put things on cooldown as quickly as possible so that you can potentially use them more per game.
Yeah. I see what you're selling.
I was just going to let that one sit.
The trade didn't really look that great anyway, but I like the salesman. Atlus here as facing his team getting demolished.
I flash out a fountain, by the way.
Yeah, I love
to
that.
get to the lane.
Hey, League Classic is coming back. You can get your extra 5 AD with your Ignite early.
Oh, exactly. I'm lighting the Wraith on fire on my way through. That's precisely what's going to be happening. At least I think the Wraith is still going to be the man. Do you even remember that, Kent? The Grump before Grump.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we do have...
Invade. We got an invade, buddy. Trundle. Gonna go try and use the early dueling power. He does start up the blue early here, and they see the ward go down, so here comes the chase.
Yeah, level 3 for both of these junglers. There is the kennel thrown down, and Kanavi gets the chomp onto the Skarner. It's gonna be a battle for these wolves, and it's won by Kanavi this time.
Kanavi didn't even have the smite. Shun just missed time in that, so Kanavi ended up to get the majority of the camp, which is very nice for the Trundle.
The defense as well from HLE. It feels like the first time that they were ahead of the play.
And what were we asking for in Champ Select, Atlus? It is to get jungle, play for bottom side. They do that. They get winning jungle, they play for bottom side. It's a much better, different story for HLE, for Kanavi. And on the opposite side, of course, Shun goes into countermeasures there, and he at least is going to be able to take away the enemy blue quadrant.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage on the bot side, though. That feather pull from Viper not actually connecting onto Gumayusi. So now only just ticking over to level 3. I have to play a little bit more defensive on this model, especially with Kanavi there. I'm a little nervous, but looks like Kanavi just going to walk his way through mid lane and see if he can match the Skarner on this topside crab.
Yeah, 22 minutes and 5 seconds, the time to beat here for BLG
Hello.
to enter the top 5 fastest best of 5s of all time.
Okay, that would be insanely fast.
Yeah, 16-19. Oh, wow, that number. That really does not make me happy. It's never mind. Gumayusi going to be able to dash out of the way of the grand entrance. Nicely played here. Looks like his Lucian is still pretty dominant. We'll see whether it's going to continue as it's still very early days.
And I want to highlight how good of a defense there it was from Kanavi. He crossed back to the other side, chases away Shun, who is still only on 20 CS, but now...
Yeah, Kanavi might be in a little bit of trouble. Never mind, Knight could be in a bit of trouble because he's forced to flash out of the way of that kennel. Zeka putting down a great gravity field to force it.
Yeah, still HLE putting a lot of pressure down. I don't know what's happening here on bot lane.
Gumayusi is taking a lot of damage, Dagda. That's what's happening, as Viper is also going to follow suit. HLE just trying to get this minion wave shoved in, and they will do so and go for a reset.
Yeah, I mean, BLG struggling now when it gets back towards the AD carries. Like, we've seen BLG really cooking. You got to see that on the side of your screens with, like, the Swain, the Vel'Koz, the Talia in the last game. But now with this Lucian Milio, Viper and On not looking so hot when it comes towards the 2v2.
So as soon as it's a normal lane,
yeah,
they don't know what they're doing.
Well, this was the thing, right?
Not...
I do think that like the speciality of On has been getting out of the lane and interacting in the map, right? And we've seen in years past when it comes to 2v2, On is still very good, but like when it came towards matching like Gumayusi and Keria, now matching up with Gumayusi and Delight, like it is not as simple as a time from, especially given the matchup. So I do think for HLE, this is where they can find that success by putting that pressure on.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would have been confused by the Viktor first pick as well. We didn't really go into it. Zeka has been really, really good on this champion. It's something that I think Showmaker really started to make look kind of broken in the LCK earlier on this year. And Zeka did manage to find some great angles with it as well. So you might be looking at it going, that's not a Sylas or an Akali, but he has been doing well on this pick.
Yeah, I like how he's like fully assimilated to control mages, to have the options. And it's so nice. You've got pushing mid and pushing bottom this time for Kanavi. And I am very jungle pilled, yes, I know, but this is so good for Trundle.
And it's good for the bottom lane as well. Forcing that vertical jungling is gorgeous.
Exactly. It's so, so good. And it should lead, wait a second, the collapse coming from BLG. They want to scrap this one out.
Yep, the flash over from Kanavi is Knight trying to get out of there, does find the Solar Snare. As Gumayusi, he wants to turn his attention to the mid laner of BLG. First blood as the chomp comes down, and BLG just have to get out of there. This is the pace we were hoping to see from HLE, and I guess it's better late than never.
And this is the Kanavi you wanted to see. It gets even better for him. They are expecting it. He flashes immediately over. They take him down, and they might not even be done yet. They got Scuttle Crab as well. Full dragon control is theirs. The ward seeing everything. HLE retaking control. Well, actually, just taking control for the first time this series.
Yeah, Viper now in a little bit of trouble here as well towards this bottom side, taking 50% of his health bar on as well. Able to utilize the Gleaming Quill for some extra healing, but Kanavi just comes on over, takes some King's Tribute as well there towards the bottom side, and is now looking to start the Drake.
He's burning Summoner's Fells on the bottom side, punishing the fact that Knight didn't have that flash, and now starting up the Dragon. It looks like Shun going to try and trade this for presence on that top half of the map instead, because he is hurting for some gold right now.
Yeah, 55-36 in the jungle is kind of ridiculous. Is Gumayusi going to push on away? And so that will be what feels like the first Drake for HLE this series, is it?
Yeah,
I think they did just sweep Souls in both of the first 2 games. So there's their first one. HLE have realized that there are neutral objectives on the bottom side of the map.
Definitely worth being said, though, of course, been performing really well on the Renekton here. Has the lone lead for BLG, has the push consistently into that top matchup as should be, and provides a little bit of space.
Yeah, Cullen going to be thrown out towards Viper there, on with the battle dance. Going to join him, takes a little bit. Viper not looking too worried about the situation.
You can see, though, again, Kanavi taking this jungle camp, Parade on the bottom side, going to move over towards Krugs, and then potentially cover this bot lane as well, which you've already got Zeka moving too. I think HLE want more.
Well, there's the exhaust onto Gumayusi at the beginning of this one. They spot Zeka moving down. Great ward in the Pixel Brush has got them a lot of information so far this game. But the fact that Zeka can finally leave the lane, this is a very different game from the first 2.
It certainly is. I mean, we're going to go way out there and say this game's going to be the longest one of the series so far.
Whoa, you are so out there. Oh, Kobe. stop it with the
BLG,
brazen predictions.
BLG, you know, they still have plenty of options to themselves, but as you were highlighting earlier, this is much more of a focused area for HLE to be able to play off. Xayah up here is just scaling on Mundo, trying not to give up too much on the top side of the map. Kanavi actually does have Delight trailing, so he can start these up, and since he's so far ahead of Shun, he can just force objective after objective.
Will be able to take that first little grub. Zeka moving over here as well as Delight in position. He's on the Milio, not necessarily going to be starting off any fights. They do get control of the Banana Brush though, but now Bin is moving in. Grand Entrance is going to come down as On is in a lot of trouble, but the Mundo is able to get on top of Shun. The kennel goes down, Shun just having to get himself out of there. Zeus dealing with the rest of them. The quickness comes through. Can On make something happen here? The answer's no as Zeka locks down the Scorpion. The Crocodile running for the hills. And another briefcase will come on down. Kanavi distracted by a camp. In the meantime, Viper is fighting Goomer, and there he sweeps him up with the feather recall, and it's a solo for Viper in the bottom lane.
HLE are able to make the play happen on the top side, but Viper, punishing the fact that Guma couldn't get his reset on the bottom side of the map, manages to answer one back.
The Blade Caller flash reposition to finish it off. I just say though, they did receive some defeats on the top side. Shun here, use the ultimate on Skarner, whiffs that one, not able to get anybody, and drops immediately. So let's take a look at it. They're respecting Bin's move down from the top side, so they pull back off, and then Zeus just moves right up into the team. Shun there, sitting duck, even though he tries to flash out, just gets walked down by the Trundle.
Also having the heal from Delight to speed him up. On trying to move towards mid to get that ultimate so then he can help out, but still HLE very strong. But Viper here, so Gumayusi, when we had Zeka move down towards that bottom side, Gumayusi wanted to look for the reset. He couldn't actually get it off because he was trying to help out with Zeka, which means that Viper punished incredibly well, flashing to connect with the feathers, getting some plates, and suddenly what was a CS and a gold lead for Gumayusi, Viper now has access to.
Really nice geometry performance there as well to make sure that feather did manage to pick him up. As now Zeus hits towards the top side, just going to be eating his potions. And will be able to push Bin away. And I feel like this is one of these matchups that just gets more and more annoying for the Renekton. At the beginning, you're like, yeah, I'm winning, it's great, it's great, it's great. And then I'm winning less, I'm winning less, I'm winning less. Why isn't he taking damage? This is annoying. And then the Mundo just does anything he wants.
He pushes.
He does.
Pushes, and he continues.
He throws paperwork at you, and you're like, I don't want to do more paperwork, boss. All right, well, Delight and On, just some supportive combat here, but not exactly the end of the world. As far as damage potential, it's not quite Camille versus Pike or anything like that. So Gumayusi parking himself up here. And Kanavi getting a little bit of damage himself. Another exhaust comes down. Featherstorm for the damage. Gumayusi tries to keep himself alive and fails at the task. And Viper will kill him a second time.
That's even with Delight's heal and ultimate. Viper punishing with that one-item spike beautifully there.
Exactly. He already had the Essence Reaver. Guma gets to buy his while he's dead, back in base now, but that is too late. On and Viper have already done the deed. Another kill for Viper Xayah.
And he's now 800 gold ahead. Kanavi was leading by 1.1k, still is, right? He is a huge advantage here for HLE, but the Xayah's carry potential later on in the game is kind of absurd.
It will be a different look for BLG, though. They've been traditionally about Knight and Bin, and even Daney said in some of those chats behind the scenes, look, you can't all be superstars on this team. Someone has to take a step back, and for most of the split, it was Viper who did it. Now it has to be Viper who steps up.
Well, I think he can. Having, you know, watched Viper previously.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I think he's capable of making that happen and has been on some teams with a lot of chefs.
Guma flanking from bottom side. Lucian down here is disconnected from the rest of HLE. He's going to take a while to walk over.
Yeah, Death Ray comes down. Knight able to avoid that. This Mountain Drake taken down to 50%, but pretty durable as far as the Dragon is concerned. This Ward down to 50%, but spots Guma on his way over. And now might be HLE's turn to make something happen. Never mind, Smite comes through. Shun able to lock that one down, and they even out the Drakes. Chemtech again. But God, there's a Mundo on this team and a Trundle. Okay, it's a Chemtech day for the HLE roster.
Yeah, and I mean, they're kind of staring him down as...
A little bit early on the Ixtal's impact there for Shun.
HLE are kind of staring him down, but it's so hard to steal against Skarner, especially when Skarner has the inside route on you like that, because you can just throw out the ultimate. And so they're respecting On and Knight's presence there, not walking up, nobody actually going to fall in the play, and just seed the extra dragon.
All right, Xayah chasing after Bin, or has been chasing after Xayah. I think it's Xayah chasing after Bin at the moment. Kanavi's moving up. Dominus is there, but I don't know whether Bin's going to be able to survive this one. Slices and dices, creates some space, and in comes the Skarner as well, but Zeus flashes on top of the Crocodile. Kanavi held in position and taken out as Knight looking to try and answer the play as well. On gets over here. Zeus doesn't look too worried about it just yet. Zeka's moved up, and Delight is now over the wall, able to support his Mundo, who just wanders his way down.
On had the quickness, but didn't want to pop it until he knew, but Viper getting some back rubs off of Gumayusi, but yeah, the quickness, they didn't want to use it until they had members from BLG in position. Still Zeus able to step away from that top side after the kill. Very good for that Mundo.
Those AD carry combat summoners are fairly closely synced. Guma's barrier is going to come off cooldown a little bit earlier as they go for Zeka top.
Zeka, really nice sidestep there, is now On having to battle dance his way away, and Zeka is not afraid. The sidesteps on this man are looking fantastic. The Arcane Storm, he's ignoring the Rakan completely. Throws circles down, he's doing some Venn diagrams, but there is no Rakan included in that as Delight moves up, and HLE going to look to grab some plates.
And this has got to be the biggest difference in this game. Zeka here, he had been getting gapped by Knight in the previous games, but this game has been all Zeka. And the Viktor is going to be able to get the push. They're going to be able to get this second tower actually for themselves because they already took mid lane one down and add another one to their collection.
And now it's almost like 2.5K gold, the advantage for HLE. They are doing their very best to perform the same kind of snowball that BLG have been doing to them all day long.
And this is what we talked about for HLE as well. Like, they have a composition that scales incredibly into the later portion of the game. With a very early heart steal, may even try and stack it on Viper here.
Yeah, he doesn't have Featherstorm available. He does have the exhaust, but Mundo is not tired. Zeus is just walking him down, immune to the CC and the backhand, or the back briefcase, if you will, as he takes him out.
He just slowly walked up and down smashed Viper.
It looked so gentlemanly as well when he did it. Just flung it through the airs. Okay, there's the grand entrance. The quickness comes down as well. Impaled. Zeus, has he noticed yet? That's my question. On now looking to fight Delight because he knows he cannot fight this Mundo. He's got his special brew running. Does now wear off at least, but BLG are pushed away from the turret.
Well, maybe we're going to have to like take a poll or something. What is actually the biggest difference this game? Is it Kanavi having the better jungle early on? Is it Zeka actually not getting gapped by Knight? Or is it Zeus on this Mundo?
Well, there's a teleport in. The Mundo is up here one more time. It's Kanavi. He is not going down to this one. The slice, the dice. Is the kennel going to be available? The flash comes through. There's no turret here though, Bin. Where are you going? Kanavi eats him. And BLG are going to have to run away from the bottom turret as well. HLE are turning that tempo all the way around.
HLE! Their G3 reports are going to be all profits, it looks like, in this one.
I'm getting a flashback. Insane. I have the plan. I understand. Their biggest problem around this time of year was getting reverse swept and then not being able to play the game. They've realized, wait, we have to lose the first couple of games. We're going to be sorted out if we manage to figure it out after that. And they are making it work, at least here in game number 3.
Maybe inform them that you only need to lose one in order to not get reverse swept next time.
And also, they could have just won the series in a normal way. You're exactly right.
But, I mean, yeah, the precedent has been set at this tournament for reverse sweep, so we will wait and see.
It also just shows how terrified it is giving either of these teams a lead.
Yeah.
Like, HLE have not taken their foot off the gas pedal since they got that early control with Kanavi and then gave it a lot more gold over towards Zeka. And now you're looking at turrets being taken across the board. That bot lane one is just about to fall. And Zeus, like, when he finishes this Warmogs, I think basically completes everything he needs at this stage. So for HLE, they're now invading Shun. He doesn't get to enjoy his jungle anymore.
Nope, Kanavi gets to enjoy his jungle instead, comes on over and bites the Grump, and will be able to take that one down. 150 to 117, but 1.6k the advantage as HLE looking for double dragon. And as these Chemtech Drakes get stacked up, the closer to immortality Zeus and Kanavi get, if they're not there already, it's going to get kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel bad for Viper this game because, you know, he's got some, you know, 1v1s and 2v2 kills.
Yeah, Danny's like, it's your turn to carry, Viper. Let's see how you go. If you do this, we'll let you do it again.
Yeah, and we've given you an immobile wall and an immobile wall to get through.
Oh, dear. Well, at least he does have the option of going over it, you know. Doesn't have to necessarily go through everything because he does have that Featherstorm available. Does have 2 items complete, but Gumayusi is right there with him. As we have a look at the Coinbase gold grind, Kanavi is very far ahead. That is basically what it's saying. He's been clearing out so many more camps, being able to really punish Shun on this Skarner that was picked blind this time. And I think that's the big story for me, is that HLE actually had answers to what were being presented by BLG in this game.
Yeah, even with the flexible possibility, they really called it as soon as they saw them, especially with their cover bands. And pushing will continue for Zeus. I actually just... All right, well, the invades will also continue.
Yeah, Kanavi just going to bite down onto On. Delight is moving up here as well. He's got that fire kick. As now Kanavi with Shelly over the wall. They're going to look to knock down this inner turret. They are keeping up the pace in this game. And Bin, let's see whether he can keep this turret alive. A charge is going to come through. He definitely cannot. Now, will the Dominus actually keep him alive? That's the question, as Kanavi's just beating him with a club. Slice and Dice will get him out of there, as Kanavi is going to take the Shellfish exit. Viper is able to flash his way out. That is the smite to come through from Shun. Gets the Impale over the base gate, and Kanavi will finally be shut down.
Kanavi was having a little bit too much fun. Thankfully for him, his team still got 2 extra turrets while this is all happening. But yeah, he was having a lot of fun there. He was looking at using this Rift Tail for the escape. And then he was like, wow, I'm very close to killing Bin. Now I'm very close to killing anyone that's near me. And in the end, they smite him out of the Herald and kill him.
Yeah, and it's nice for Viper to pick up another kill, but honestly, I don't think this really changes the game for HLE. Like, you just have those 2 items there for Zeus. You're able to just continue with this control on the top side, and it's not like there was any objectives here for BLG to pick up off the back of it. HLE, in fact, are the ones that are sitting around looking for picks.
Well, On is now potentially in some trouble, but does grand exit the situation here. Zeka, without the mobility of the Rakan, is not going to be able to chase after him. However, he does, and just walks around the red pit in order to get on top of him. Mega Cone available, so he feels very, very safe. And look at how far forward HLE are positioned. It is kind of absurd, making sure BLG has no access to their own jungle.
I mean, should we do like time trial comparisons? Because BLG ones were really quick, but
yeah, what was it? 22 minutes and 5 seconds. Yeah. That's what we're looking to beat. That's probably not happening.
And HLE also let them have a dragon.
Yeah. But now that they've got a taste for dragons, they're doing much better.
Is that why we asked all the players their favorite music? Because you need the music for the time trials, you know? If you don't have a banger in the racing game, it just doesn't quite go as hard, so.
True.
That is a good point. All right, Death Rays flowing on over. As the fire kick going to be able to delay Shun here. They are on the Baron, as we can see. Gumayusi taking a lot of damage from it as well. Relentlessly pursuing away. Not necessarily how pursuing works, but he is going to have to go back, as Zeus is just in the bottom lane. BLG are trying to ignore it and hoping that the problem goes away. I think we've all had that sort of take.
Well, see, Zeus did ignore the problem, who was Knight, and he did go away. So I think, yeah, it is kind of working the other way around.
That's true. Everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Zeus is at the big power spike now. When you get that Warmogs on top of your Heartsteel, it gets really difficult to do anything on the map now for BLG because the Mundo is going to be relentless pressure, and so HLE can return to this Baron because Mundo just goes straight on back, pushing, and meanwhile the rest of the team will control all this vision around the Baron, and if you step in, then they will punish you.
But it's also because Zeus just gets to step up, tank all the damage from Knight and the tower, step away for a couple seconds and heal it all back up as the wave comes, and then do it again.
And then gets to buy Warden's Mail so that he can be more durable in the team fights, because it's Viper that has the task of trying to kill the Mundo. Zeka will take some damage from Knight here. This Mail, 2 items have been completed. Knight is still somewhat strong, but I mean, the same 2 items have been done for Zeka. He's got a cute pink rod as well, and he is doing a bit of extra damage. has been able to keep up in levels somewhat here, has Knight. Hasn't been as much of the experience advantages that we've seen in the previous games outside of Kanavi here over Shun, perhaps. But let's see. This game has slowed down, and I feel like that definitely benefits BLG. Even if HLE have a composition that scales beautifully, I think BLG needs some time to breathe in this one. As Zeus does about 1 trillion damage to the inhibitor turret.
And now let's wait for the Warmogs to kick in as well, and he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think he cared to begin with. All right, he's going to be channeling the back. He's not doing that to heal. I think he's doing that to purchase. As Gumayusi now looking to try and get some damage onto Shun. On comes over here, and the kennel is going to make sure that this Skarner cannot do anything about the red buff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess BLG are just going to full send it for the Dragon Soul fight, but HLE don't even have to full commit to that. They can just take the Baron if you commit your resources to going to try and contest that. It's just, the options are really off the table now for BLG.
The Spirit Visage is going to coincide with Chemtech Soul as well. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to even comprehend
this is
what
like
this Mundo's going to be
crazy
capable
build
of.
path.
Over under on Zeus, never die in this game.
It's
I mean, is he going to die one time? Let's put it at that.
So.
We'll go under one time.
I was about to say, well, if he dives the fountain, and then I'm like, hang on, would that even be enough?
No, because like I don't think Viper has 3 items. I still don't think he kills him.
He does have one of the good items for killing tanks.
Now let's see.
But he's level 16.
5 members of BLG go kill that Mundo. Sacrifice the Baron. Don't care about it.
Nexus for Mundo trade.
Get him.
That's going to ruin our over-under, though. All right, HLE now clearing out vision once again. And Kanavi will be able to grab this ward towards the back of this pit. Shun getting control vision down, but HLE just kind of making the map so incredibly dark. And Kanavi sprinting around on, not able to get on top of him whatsoever. And all right, HLE still playing it relatively slow, just trying to hold this game in a position that they like. And obviously, based on their composition, they can do this pretty comfortably. 3 minutes on that Chemtech Soul.
Here's what you do. You hold them in this game for as long as they held you in the first 2 games. So that you, after this game, then you've been winning for as much time. How about that?
Oh, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Would that even get to the longest game here at MSI?
The first 2 were so quick.
So very doable is what we're saying. All right, let's find out. The Impale is going to go wide. And yeah, Kanavi just walks to the back and eats a ward.
Yeah, I mean, they can just hold them here. As we've gone over, the scaling is so good for HLE.
Oh dear, well, the snare is going to connect, but Shun is just taking so much damage. There is the pillar finally coming down. The Arcane Storm chasing, but Shun still needs to go back. And HLE should be able to just take this Baron. It's even a teleport from Xayah. They are committing to this one.
Yeah, the silver lining was that Gumayusi wasn't there. The big, massive storm cloud is that everyone in HLE is on Baron.
Look at Xayah's health bar. That's too many.
That's a lot of bars again. Yeah. Count those bars right now.
That looks like a meter long. It's like a meter long ruler. You know, it's like that's too many of the little bars.
That's actually the barcode for apple juice in the shop.
Oh, that's what that is.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe someone try scanning it, seeing what comes up. You never know. All right, Kanavi is going to get back on over as they get themselves a Baron. They can then use the Baron to make sure that they claim the soul, or possibly even just win the game.
Honestly, Shun under attack again.
Yeah, put into the kennel one more time. That is not where Scorpions like to go. As Delight, will be able to help holding him in place. There is the fire kick. Zeus grabs it with a briefcase. And the Skarner knew there was nowhere to go.
LPL junglers and dying for crab. What a beautiful thing to see is BLG give everything to get that little spot of vision in the river. But it does mean now HLE just immediately move to bot side. Yep. The wave is coming. Mundo exists in the mid lane, so BLG are petrified.
And Kanavi exists on this bottom lane as well. I mean, he took the first 2 games personally, and I do not blame him. It was a monstrous performance from BLG, and this must feel very cathartic to be able to finally get some revenge. As he is just taking a lot of damage here. Can take some tribute to try and get that health bar back again. As speaking of health bars, here comes Zeus. And this is going to be the base broken. Gumayusi able to freely hit this turret as the Arcane Storm is chasing down BLG. Gumayusi is so incredibly far up here. He's got a lot of frontliners to stand behind. He's decided not to. as 2 inhibitor turrets are going to fall. 2 inhibitors probably to fall at the same time. BLG haven't been able to take a turret so far this game, as HLE moved to an 8,000 gold lead, 13 seconds on the Dragon, and HLE can just move back and grab it before spending their mountains of gold.
Yeah, BLG's only hope. They have to make this play now before the Dragon gets here, before that soul comes in. Otherwise, HLE will just complete.
Oh, Sean.
Oh no, the kennel is so perfectly placed. He does manage to drive through. It is on with the quickness, not able to do anything as Delight just blocks it. Bin looking for a flank angle, but HLE, they picked that one up as well, and Gumayusi has just been a typewriter over BLG. Bin has to flash to get over the kennel, and now Zeus, where did he come from? Well, it is going to be Bin locking down the kill onto Kanavi. That is the smite now dead, but the top laner is also down. HLE, I don't think they're actually able to leave though, because that will mean sacrificing the Dragon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure HLE can just move over and pick it up anyway. Shun, it feels very difficult to enter with half HP.
Things are quite dark, are they not?
Yeah, and Zeka's kind of hitting you in the face.
Oh, Zeus did not go to the Dragon. All right, well, that is another Arcane Storm, as Zeka is still just chasing down 3 people. Zeus will move in. Knight over here as well, as the briefcase is going to land. And Gumayusi, he is the one that's now jungling, as Kanavi is dead for another 11 seconds as well. He's got a Randuin's when he does come back. And HLE just feeling phenomenal. The Spirit Visage was completed. Zeka just bounces on top of Shun with that Blast Cone. And that is going to be the soul picked up, and Zeka removing the soul of Shun here in his jungle.
Yeah, Shun wanted to eat a little bit. Just a little jungle camp, please. And Knight slaps his hand away.
Well, the Milio is dead. Delight is just going to be caught backing in a place where he's not really allowed to.
Yeah, Viper gets some more gold that's he's probably not really gonna appreciate that much. Still happy to get it. You're always still happy to get it.
Yeah. It does,
but he won't get to use it for very often.
If you can keep making picks, something might happen.
I like that I could see your brain trying to figure it out. And it's like,
it went down every road. There was an
yeah, it was just HLE turning in real time.
And I saw them balk. My watch is broken. Well, HLE back to it once again after they've spent that money. As Gumayusi on 3.5 items right now. The quickness to try and hold Kanavi in position. And he's wondering why. As okay, looking for Zeus, as in goes Bin, trying to find a flank angle, gets a Mega Cone to get himself the heck out of there. The question is he out? The Subjugate is now running on the Renekton, is on, speaking of which, he's going to take a full culling to the face, and the Arcane Storm is just terrifying, completely blocks them off, and Zeus just walks in to 4 people and selects Viper as his target. He'll kill everyone. Gumayusi thought that he might have been able to take down the Skarner there, as Zeus' health bar does not move. He teleports underneath the turret and will be able to take these Nexus turrets as well. Look at that health bar if you can. We need better resolution to see how much health Zeus has. And HLE come alive finally here in Daejeon.
HLE are not done yet. Analyst desk, break it down.